Well, good Richo.
Nice. How good's that?
In this video, we head to the spectacular Victorian High Country with fellow Victorian YouTubers Daniel Kistler and Uncle Pooly to tackle some tough tracks. This is part 1 of a 2-part series, and part 2 will be released on Uncle Poolys Channel, so make sure you subscribe to that if you haven't already. As you can probably imagine, this turned out to be one hell of an adventure with an awesome crew. This journey begins right here in the shed. We've got to do a quick little few things to the car and then we're going to get on the road. You can only imagine with those names that I just mentioned, we are going to do some of the tougher tracks this weekend. So I've got to make sure Barra 45 is in the right configuration for it. So I'm going to show you how I set up this car for hard wheeling. The other thing is that my winch hasn't been working properly, and there are another couple of videos from our New South Wales series that are coming out on the channel in a few weeks' time, and you'll see that my winch really did let me down. So I've actually dropped off my top hat and motor at Roadrunner Off-Road, and Cam from Roadrunner has really helped me out, chopped me out for this one. I told him where I was going this weekend, and he's basically put a new motor through it, new solenoid, new bus bars, and we're gonna delve into why the winch wasn't working and how I'm gonna set it up a bit differently in a future episode. But for now, I've got to bolt that back on. Let's get onto it so we can get on the road. Righty, we're just draining the oil. Looked a bit icky. Oh, that's not good. We'll put some brake cleaner in that. Winch is working, thank you Cam. Another thing I do before every trip is quickly check the wheel bearings, and you can see why they're a little bit loose this time, although it turns out it wasn't the wheel bearing. You can actually see here one of the bolts had backed out of the stub axle and was wearing on the guard and the rotor. Not good. Just finished off basically a quick swivel hub rebuild, so good. So onto the final bit of maintenance before the trip. I've recently done oil and all that sort of stuff, but in light of recent events, I'm greasing my unis basically every opportunity I can, which is made more fun by this Kincrome electric grease gun. Alrighty, with all the maintenance done, it was now time to set up the ute for the weekend. This is my lightweight touring setup, which really consists of a spare tyre and a box, as well as the camping essentials. I've got a canopy set up for Barra 45 as well, but given we're doing some steep tracks in the high country, it's pretty scary having all that weight up high and at the back, so I've opted to go with the lightweight option. Rear setup is now finished. I've got a spare, I've got a toolbox, I've got a water jerry holder, and I use this to put my rubbish in as well, in a rubbish bag obviously. Swag, chair, extremely lightweight setup. I don't even have any cooking gear, and I'm going to tell you how I get around that. I've got my Kincrome cooler bag here, and I've got basically some bread, some tuna, some Vita Wheats, some fruit, can of Pringles because I love Pringles, and a chicken wrap that I made from a bachelor's handbag. That's going to go in the fridge. The chicken is going in the fridge. Just using a console fridge, no main fridge at all. And this is a trick that I'm pretty sure I learned from Bear Grylls, how to survive 48 hours out in the wild. So we're good to go on this trip, and I can't wait to get to camp and crack a beer with the boys tonight. Time to hit the road, and by the time I arrived, locals Dan and Sherry had the fire cranking. As you can probably imagine, many deep and meaningful conversations about Toyota versus Nissans were had around the fire that night.
We awoke to the beautiful Thompson Dam. Last night we had entered the high country via Erica and Rawson and were camping pretty close to the dam wall, which put us close to the start of the tracks for the day. We had a pretty diverse group of cars this weekend. Sherry and his 12HT powered 60 series, my Barra powered 45 series, Jono and his SAS D-Max, Pooly with his gold ute from TikTok, and Dan Kistler and his turbo TB42 Patrol. Because you're a bit late.
Yeah. Well, put it this way, I snapped an easy out.
Yeah, so good.
So like, yeah, but and we made it here.
And what are your thoughts on the pub truck potentially not going to the pub this week?
I'm shattered. I don't know what to say. It's yeah, I don't know. It wouldn't be a proper trip if we didn't go to the pub, but that's how it's looking. So, lucky I brought some Dare Ice coffee with me.
Not a sponsor?
No, not a sponsor, but could be.
If you haven't seen Uncle Poolys Channel, make sure you go subscribe to him. He does some awesome four-wheel driving content, and the second episode of this trip will be out on his channel in a few weeks' time. We're on Dan Kistler's hard high country tours. Where are we going?
I don't know, it's too dry for a hard high country tour. I reckon Deep Creek and then a few other good ones on the way.
And what can we expect?
Hopefully some shaking in your boots.
Speaking of shaking in your boots, Dan has a YouTube channel full of that sort of content, as well as some other awesome four-wheel drive content, so make sure you go subscribe to him if you haven't already.
I think it's too dry for lots of winching, maybe one or two. I think you'll drive everything, but yeah, there's some stuff that'll put the wind up you. Yeah, I'm in the wagon this weekend. I haven't taken it out much this year. Been pretty busy at home, so this is a third trip this year. And it's November, so I would have liked to get it out more, but when Pooly and Richo and the boys sort of said they'll come to the high country, I couldn't say no.
On the floor, she's antisocial, antisocial, she's an angel, yeah. I'm in deep with this girl, but she's out of her mind. She said, babe, I'm sorry, but I'm crazy tonight. She got a black shirt.
It wasn't long before we reached Dan Kistler's first bonus line for the day.
The worst part is it looks flat on camera.
Yeah.
On its way up.
Yeah, it looks like Queen's birthday, we'll winch him from here pretty much.
Yeah.
It'll be alright on the drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the original hill, I suppose. It's good. So the high country is not really a place to mess around in, and this is one of them hills. It's like, yeah, if you come unstuck, it's just easier to pull the winch and winch up it because it's a long way back down.
With those confidence-inspiring words, Dan set off first. Jono and his big SAS D-Max are up next. Let's see how it does. Good drive, Jono.
Bonus line on Deep Creek, first track of the day. I don't have to do it, but I don't want Dan Kistler to think I'm a little bitch, so let's do it.
Copy, Richo.
Yeah, Roger, copy over.
Are you excited first hill of the day?
Yeah, I guess so. pretty flat.
If the video doesn't make it look good, like...
You're out.
Pooly was having some trouble with his lockers, but he managed to stop and sort them out. Once we'd finished the bonus line, it was time to drop into the creek of Deep Creek 1.
Easy done, Kerry.
Well, you go to LCS and get an 80 chest. The creek was so different to anything I'd ever seen in the high country, and it felt like we were in the jungle.
Deep Creek 1, wouldn't recommend if you're afraid of a couple of big stripes on your car. Deep Creek 1 done and dusted. Where are we off to?
Nearly done.
Nearly done,
With
yeah.
Easy climb out. It used to be good back in the day, but it's pretty easy now.
Yep.
So then straight out of 1, then you just drop straight into 4.
Okay.
And then
sweet.
I haven't been in there for a little while, but yeah, it's got a nice route section we'll have a look at.
She's not complicated, can't be overstated at all. She's not complicated,
That is
steep. It is steep, isn't it?
Where's the KFC around here?
Just up here around the corner.
It wasn't long before we found Dan's next little bonus line.
That's steep.
I'm not fit enough for this walk.
Lucky you had your brekkie burger.
This is the biggest loser.
Oh, that's the better one over
Where's the
there,
Commando?
Pooly. That's the one you
Oh,
want.
that's why you're just walking up that one. This one looks easy as.
Up here, Pooly.
Not really working out for me, is it?
I reckon this one will get it.
Yeah, that looks real good on the video. Richo's down there. Why does it look so worse when you're on foot?
Why does it look so worse?
Come straight in the car.
Pooly climb cam.
Like a mountain goat. Where am I going?
Dan, being the local, offered to show us how it's done.
Here goes. Let's drive a really steep hill. My lockers. I don't know, I think it's a switch panel though. I'll get it.
With Pooly's lockers working intermittently, he had no choice but to beeline around.
Boo. You've changed, Pooly.
Onwards and upwards, Jono was up next.
Righto, another little high country bonus line. Dan drove it fine, Jono drove it fine. Pooly's having dramas with his lockers, so let's see how I go.
Too steep. Hate you, Richo. Hate you.
Not long after, we were back on the main track and we encountered a nasty bit Dan had warned us about, leaving Pooly with no choice but to go first without any working lockers.
Hang on.
Whoa.
What's happened, Pooly?
Oh, mate. This is what happens when you try and drive with no lockers. Oh, yeah, I'll be a hero and try and drive that with no lockers. Bang. Front tail shaft. That's first.
It's a new one for you.
First shaft.
How many rears are we up to now?
7. And now, the car doesn't want to drive where I want it to drive because everything's binding up in the front. It's kicked me around.
Out, please.
And I can't go forward because I can't drive because I've got no lockers. So I've got one wheel. So we're going to winch the car back up so I can just get straight so I can reverse back down in dual drive.
Yeah, your back wheel's kind of... Righto, so Pooly, obviously, as you could probably tell by that, just lost a tail shaft on the exit of Deep Creek 4. So this is the exit here. We'd sort of stopped to film it. Didn't anticipate Pooly to do a tail shaft sort of first go up. So yeah, it's I don't know what that means for him. I think he's gonna have to shoot out of the high country and grab one. I mean, at least it's a front, so it's you know, it's pretty safe to drive the vehicle around.
Yeah, you're the guy to do it.
What's happened, Uncle Pooly?
Oh, mate. This is like, I've never done a front tail shaft because it's actually like pretty protected up there, but I must have had the perfect rock, has just demolished it.
You get it on the big jobs.
You get that on big jobs. That means that I get to leave Views and go to KFC.
And maybe the pub.
And maybe the pub.
What do you got here?
Oh, it's a Kincrome toolkit. Now it's all going downhill when this comes out.
Most
Oh, that Richo.
Another day,
what's
another...
the old twisters at KFC? It looks like one of them.
Twister wrap.
They're twisted up at the end.
Another day, another tail shaft, mate.
That's right.
How good's
Dangerous day to be a tail shaft.
That's every day with you, mate.
Yeah. 30. Even when I had 35s on stock. So now, we've hot wired the lockers. It was actually the circuit breaker has died. We bypassed the circuit breaker, so it's hardwired to the battery now, and it all works. So I've got rear locker now.
No front drive?
No front drive.
You'll
but we'll just winch, and then I'll drive the rest. So I can still use low range. So
excellent. Let's do it. Rip a skid, Pooly.
You could see it was pretty tricky with no front drive, so Pooly opted to get on the winch.
proper Aussie smoke I've ever seen one.
Aussie boy smoko.
Homemade KFC.
That's it. Imagine if you had a zinger burger in there. You just whip one out mid-trip.
So Pooly went in search of a front tail shaft so he could get a day of wheeling in tomorrow, and that'll be on his channel. Meanwhile, Dan consulted the maps, and it looked like we were heading for Flats Track.
Explain what's happened here, mate. Yeah.
I opened a fresh Red Bull because I was getting a bit tired and just driving in the dust, didn't see a tree, a log, a stump or something. I've just nipped it with this tyre. I've bent my drag links.
Nice. How good's that?
Ah, it's great.
A little bit of steel though, like.
Yeah.
You'd be able to bend it back.
Straighten around, should be right. Yeah. I just can't be bothered pulling the spanners out, to be honest. I was just like, it's easier just to drive back to the trailer than what it is to...
We're not taking
that.
That's not happening.
This much in driving the Toyota.
This is the first time it's been out.
That's how superior load test their stuff. They get Jono swing off it. Go. A little bit more. Yep. Well, fucking hell. You might have to get in, Nick, and put your foot on the brake. Oh, it's actually going. Yeah, it is going. Straight as, I reckon.
Yeah, that's straighter than it was before.
It's like a workshop press.
With that mechanical fixed, it was time to get back on the road. After another couple of tracks, we had made it to the infamous Flats track, one of the steeper tracks in the high country, and Sherry, with his 60 series, offered to go first. This track has a reputation, and for good reason. It's pretty exposed with a couple of nasty rock steps up the top, and I can assure you the camera won't do it justice. Sherry was on much smaller tyres than everyone else, but he drives like a madman, which you'll see in Pooly's video, and he knows this 60 series like the back of his hand, so after a couple of short winches, he was up safely. Next up was the D-Max.
If you've been following along and you saw me on TJ and Mac's channel about a year ago, you'll know that I had to winch up the top and my winch wasn't working. Today, I don't have a canopy on. I have a working winch, so I'm feeling a bit more confident, but I've kind of got a bit of a vendetta against this track. So let's go conquer it. Far from ideal situation, so I just felt my brakes feeling a bit spongy. Checked the reservoir, which doesn't have much fluid left in it, and then checked my rear wheel, and you can see something's obviously happened to the caliper there. So yeah, I've really got to, I'm in a bit of a spot because it's quite tricky to go down, and to be honest, it's quite tricky to go up as well. So I might have to get on the winch and just be very safe, so I don't think I'll get to drive this today. It's
Barra 45 has braided brake lines, so we came up with a plan to cut and crimp one of the hard lines, and then I could have at least 3 brakes.
Got Jono under the car, just doing a quick brake bleed. Alrighty, we just fixed up that brake malfunction. We've got 3 brakes now, but we can safely get up to the top.
Once I was up to a safe stopping spot, it was time to tackle the last tricky section of the track, and Sherry went first.
Holy shit. That's an angle. Just remove these from the track for Sherry.
After Sherry made it to the top, Jono was up next. You can tell in this footage that my rear draw was out, and I was really lucky that I didn't hit it.
I did a wheelie! With no man behind.
Leave no silicon joiner behind.
Did the draw like hit, like was it close to hitting?
It was. What'd you find?
The worst one was the bolt container.
Was it open?
Well, when it dropped out it became open. And every single nut and bolt, there'd be like 100, maybe 200. Was just everywhere all over the track.
That's why you don't leave your drawer open, guys.
That's why you don't leave your drawer open.
After Flat's track, it was getting pretty dark, so we stopped by Mount Useful to have a look at this beautiful sunset. And that brings us to the end of this episode. Make sure you go check out Uncle Poolys Channel for episode 2 of this trip. Let us know what you think in the comments, and would you like to see us do it again?
I think that's us done for the day. Wrap it up, on to Pooley's episode.